penalty if you fail a drug test. But, you know, like I said, it happens, and hopefully some kids can learn from it, but just don't get caught.
I'm down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk. I'm down to dunk.
This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk. I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
Will you say this is Lou Dort and I'm down to Dort?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No.
No. Okay.
But it's healthy.
You're a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
You have a gallon of milk I can also take home.
You don't have milk at home?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to episode 129 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down2dunk and get The Athletic for $1 a month for 6 months. I am Luke. Joined this morning by Andrew.
I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool, pretty damn cool. Woo!
Slam through.
And Taylor.
Life's like a road that you travel on. There's one day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside every darkened door where blues won't haunt you anymore. Where the brave are free and lovers soar. Come ride with me to the distant shore. We won't hesitate to break down the garden gates. There's not much time left today. Yeah, everybody. Life is a highway. I want to ride all night long.
Wow.
You're going my way.
Still going.
Slam through.
Wow.
Wow. Is that a shout out to your daughter? Big
Yeah.
Cars fan?
Big, huge Cars fan.
Yeah.
She's in Encanto right now.
This
song came out in
movie
2000
the movie or the vehicles?
Movie.
Hmm.
When it comes to vehicles, big trucks fan
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Nice.
and trains fan.
Nice. Okay. Well,
I thought about just doing the entire
whole
song.
It's like,
you nearly did.
And I got uncomfortable when I started singing the chorus.
That's good. I'm glad. That means you're a pretty normal person.
yeah, means you could read the room.
That's good. Good for you. Here, man, I am so glad the Thunder won that game against the Pistons on Wednesday.
My
I
God.
cannot tell you that tip in was such a relief. And honestly, the feeling, I mean, what were your feelings whenever Corey Joseph made that three when Dort just decided to go under the screen in like the most un-Dort-like fashion ever?
That's exactly what I was going to say. The one time Dort decides to go under a screen at the end of a
You've
game.
been fighting over screens for nearly 80 games.
Yeah.
And then this is the time at the very end of the game that you decide not to. And he does it. And it's not like Corey Joseph is some like knockdown shooter or something, but still don't leave any NBA player that can handle the ball open at the end of the game like that. That just driving me crazy. And I was in a bad place, honestly, mostly just because of not even in the moment, but just what it would have meant for this podcast today.
Yeah.
Like, in a very selfish way, I was upset after that Corey Joseph shot.
I was watching it and it's like, man, Twitter's not going to like that. This is going to be bad.
Twitter is not going to. You know what, though? The tip in was very cathartic because that is how we lost against the Hornets. was a tip in.
Yeah, and it turns out that tip in should have been a loose ball foul because Nick Richards fouls Dort at the end of the game. It came back in the last 2-minute report. And
Oh,
they got the
really?
tip in,
I did not see that.
which makes that loss, much worse.
I think we're all going to remember the name Nick Richards.
Yeah, I talked to Nick Richards for The Athletic earlier that day. Yeah, he's we'll never forget him.
Yeah. Normal guy.
Very normal guy.
Normal guy. Normal name.
Had to ask one of his buddies the name of another NBA player as we're sitting there trying to
God.
have a conversation. It was great. Okay. J-Dub was incredible and is obviously getting a ton of shine from that game. Just your overall thoughts on the game winner, J-Dub's performance. I mean, he's 27, 8 and 6 in that game, 11 of 19, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. An incredible performance from J-Dub.
Clearly, you could tell from the start of that game, he really wanted that game. That Hornets game hurt him so bad.
They were so dejected after that game. They were so sad.
Yeah.
After that game. And you're right. He wanted that game really bad.
He came out and he was trying to be so aggressive all game. But what I like about J-Dub when he's aggressive is it doesn't mean worse decision making.
Yeah, true.
It means he's locked in more. I mean, the 6 assists and the block. I mean, on defense, he was trying so hard too. He was just really trying to lead that team.
Mm-hmm.
He was really trying to step up and be the guy. And that's what I loved about it.
And then he gets the game winner.
Yeah.
And people are talking about him all day yesterday because of it. And now if you look in the month of March, do you know who leads all rookies in points per game?
Let me guess. Paolo Banchero.
No, actually.
Oh.
Jalen Williams does.
Wow.
He's 20.2 points per game in the month of March to Paolo's 20.1.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That tip in matters quite a bit.
I got him. He really wanted it.
So his points per game has had a steady incline every single month.
Yeah. Which when they tell you progress isn't linear, I call those people liars.
For most people, it's not linear. For J-Dub, though, he's a superstar. So
progress is linear. He'll be, if they make the playoffs, 30 points per game. They're in the second round, 40 points per game.
Wow.
Conference finals, 50 points per game. NBA finals, 60 points per game.
And then when the season starts over, he's
70.
70.
No, he starts at 0 again, and it's 10 points per game the first month. So with J-Dub, it's really important that you make it deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get there.
Every year.
No, I mean, in the month of March, 20 points, 6 boards, 4.4 assists, 1.7 steals, almost half a block, shooting 50, 50, 87. 56, 50, 87.
That is the part right there, is the field goal percentage that has been so efficient and so high for how many months now? January?
No, since the beginning of the season. I mean, he's not had an inefficient month.
That's so insane.
It's so awesome because after we Thunder got all their new guys last year, drafted everybody. It's like Chet. And it's like, we also got these 2 guys that have the same name.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, that's kind of confusing. And it's just so awesome that he is so good and we got him at 12.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think this time next year, he's probably one of the most popular players on the team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, it doesn't look like there's that many people at the games right now. But I think once people are there and people get back into Thunder as we're good, invest in this team, do that. I think he's going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just think because he's so funny on Instagram.
Yeah.
His online stuff is very funny. I just think he's got it all.
He's got the highlights too. He has a dunk.
He's got the dunks.
Yeah.
Every game.
He's got the hair.
He's awesome.
He's got it all.
He's got the personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the month of November, He averaged only 10 points per game. We got Jay coming in on the pod.
Jay.
Rocking a meat church shirt.
He is back.
Church.
And
Es muy bueno.
I was like, as I put it on, I was like, is this questionable? Should I have bought this shirt? Anyway, here we are.
I like it.
the boys are back in town.
Letting the
guys.
people decide. I was really just coming here to hear you finish Life as a Highway.
You can listen to it. Wow.
I would have just now finished it.
Jay,
Be going.
Jay, we've missed you.
Yeah, man,
for
it's been spring break was 1 week, and then my family went to Kansas City.
Cabo.
Right, yeah. No, we did it's a funny road trip. We went. My son takes. He's got like a map in his room that you can scratch off different like states as you visit him, and he's never been to Kansas, which is shocking. Like it's maybe the closest state to us, but Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa. And so we just took a road trip. And so we went through Kansas to Nebraska, just the very corner of Nebraska, got into Iowa, started blizzarding on us. And so we're like, let's go south as quick as possible. And then last week I was at a conference. But man, it's good to be back.
It's good to have you
It
back.
almost was terrible to be back, but thank God J-Dub hit that tip in. I heard y'all talking about him. I think it's easier and easier to see how he's a superstar. And I made the joke in our text thread, and it did not land, nor was it received. But
We'll give you the laugh now. Go ahead.
thank
Make
you.
the joke.
If
Make the
I
joke.
wonder if some of this, like, for the conspiracy theorists out there, is I kind of feel like they're sitting Shea at this point to try to get J-Dub Rookie of the Year.
Mm.
That's a good joke.
It's not even a joke. It's the reality.
It's real.
Taylor.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke.
I'm just saying, man, like he's winning this game, keeping the Thunder's play-in hopes alive.
Yeah,
I'm really hopeful he doesn't have to carry it again tonight in Indiana, but
he might.
and the crazy thing has been, and this is why I asked the question in the text thread during the Hornets game. This is like, it's not their offense that's the problem.
No,
They
offense
they're
was not the problem.
defensive.
Yeah.
Their defensive intensity is just lacking.
Mhm.
And, it's hard because you can't really attribute that directly to Shea's absence. I do think that having your leader not on the floor impacts you. I think this is probably if we're in why I asked the question about Kenrich is Kenrich was the leader defensively, and he doesn't take a lack of effort. He doesn't take that crap from the team, and so
Kenrich is on the bench.
Yeah,
they
but
want him
it's-
to take. They want him to take that role as like
a coach
like,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah. It's just, as much as you can on the floor is just more impactful.
yeah.
So,
I agree.
but that's what you kind of are expecting from this team is they've all season, even when they've had a inefficiency or not an inefficiency, but even when they didn't have the greatest talent on the floor, is they made up for what they lacked in talent with effort on the defensive end, which is why they've been able to stay in the top 12, top 13 of defense all season. And so that's the only thing that's been frustrating. Not the only thing, but that's one of the major things that's been frustrating is they just let the Hornets get anything they want. And what happens is a good NBA player like PJ Washington's a good NBA player. As soon as you give them the ability to start catching rhythm, they will go for 43 or 45 or whatever it is that he shot. And so anyway, hopefully they can right the ship a little bit tonight. I know Shea is still out for the Pacers game.
Yeah, he's listed as out.
That can change, obviously. But
So during the game, they flashed the graphic on the screen that said J-Dub had just scored his 1,000th point.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a big deal for rookies? Like, I feel like not that many rookies do that.
It's a good question.
well, one of the stats that I did see is, and I don't know if it was that or if it's what he's averaging. I think it's the most 20-point games in the franchise's history since Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
Although he was a Sonic technically that year, but he's had the most 20-point games. He's been incredible. Like not just a rookie, and that's the thing is important is it's not just on a rookie scale that he's been incredible. Like he's NBA wide, been fantastic. Like I heard you say, what is it? Did you say 50,
56, 50,
and
like
87
for the month of March?
Stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's
Especially the
embarrassing that he
3-point
can't
shot.
shoot 3 percentage points better at the free throw line. Like that's a little bit embarrassing.
It is. I agree.
But
So there's 4 rookies that have scored 1,000 points already this season. Can you name them?
Ben Mathurin.
Ben Mathurin's number 2, 1,200 points.
Ben Carroll.
Ben Carroll's number 1, 1,373.
Ivy.
Jaden Ivey. That's
Oh,
right.
man, I was gonna go
1,074. Keegs is 883
Yeah.
points.
What's like the next one below, like the next highest person?
Jabari Smith, 934.
That's kind of shocking.
So there's only 4 this year that will. Well, maybe he can get to it.
Might be able to get
Maybe.
there.
That's interesting because
So
it felt
who's
like
leading
because it felt like a big deal.
Who's
It
leading
is.
rookies in points? Is it Bankero overall?
Yeah, Paolo's ahead of Ben by 164 points.
Okay.
Because I was trying to think about it, like if Chet didn't get injured and was playing, like would J-Dub to have this development, would he still be this good?
That's a
great
great
It's a
question.
good question.
And so I'm trying to think, like
That's a glass
overall-
half full perspective.
yeah,
man.
it's like
Yeah.
that's
Chet-
the good part.
Chet's
of that.
injury has allowed J-Dub to shine.
Yeah,
Do we get the full experience of J-Dub if Chet's still on the floor? I think probably.
I think yes. I think absolutely yes.
That's the thing with bad luck, good luck.
Wow, man. Well, let's just process it for a second, Andrew, instead of you just making all these,
I think Chet provides more space on the floor. I actually think he might make J-Dub better
make it better.
because it gives him a pick and roll partner. It gives him.
I can't wait to see it. I think he's
Yeah.
playing tonight.
Yeah, they're like, we need
I
to
hope he does.
Free 7.
free 7. Yeah, last year there were 5 rookies that scored 1,000 points.
Can you name them?
Can you
hold on.
name them?
Number
Tyreek
1.
Evans.
No, hold on. Number 1, Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley, 1,034. He's 5th on the
Sorry,
list.
good. Who else we got? I don't think Jalen Green got there. Did he get?
Yes, he
get
did.
there?
1,100
Alright.
points.
He's 2.
Alright, that's 2. Josh Giddey?
Josh Giddey did not get there. Didn't play enough games. Didn't score enough points. He only scored 600 points.
Steph Curry probably did it.
Uh-huh.
Probably.
I'm trying to think who else would have scored from that. What about like Cade didn't play enough games either, did he?
Yes, he did. He scored 1,114
Oh,
points
Okay, well.
in 64
Oh
games.
yeah, Franz.
Franz Wagner is number 1, 1,197 points.
Wow.
Is that it? Is it am I
Rookie
missing
of the
one?
year. Who won Rookie of the Year?
Oh yeah, Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes. Yeah. Yep, that's a
Guys,
list.
we know basketball.
There we go.
Here on this podcast,
Jay
We
knows
know
ball.
you're looking ball. We got you.
You're
looking-
looking ball.
If you're licking balls, is that what you said?
That's what I heard too.
Not
He's
what I said.
back, baby. Meet church pastor.
Looking.
17, 18 rookie class. Do we want to do that one too?
Do
Give me who was the first
Tyreek
pick.
Evans.
Huh?
I just need to remember what draft that is. Is that Luca's draft?
No, this is just, Jason Tatum's draft.
Okay, so no, I don't want to do this.
Me neither.
a
Why
funny
are we
list.
doing this?
I don't
All right,
know.
Say it.
Josh Jackson coming in at number 7, and we're not doing this.
Oh my God.
So for the rest of the podcast, we're gonna go year by year.
You're right here. No, that Pistons game, I'm just telling you, it saved the Thunder season in so many ways because Dallas is we got some distance between the Thunder and Dallas now. You look at the rest of the schedule. Are we completely confident?
God,
if
oh,
they
I
lose
know.
that
they
game,
they play the Pacers tonight.
that
Then
they
it's
would've
like
gotten there?
Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, and the Jazz.
yeah,
Now, as I was looking forward, you think about who is still fighting for playoff seeding. That's the question because I think the Grizzlies could. I don't know. I think they're all going to have a reason to play except for the Jazz. And the Thunder have played the Jazz twice since they've done this tank, and they handled it pretty easily.
So-
Now, all of it depends on whether Shea comes back.
I don't know if the
Yeah.
Grizzlies are going to need to play. for
Memphis is 2 games up
that. Yeah.
and 3 games back. They're kind of, and if this is where they are on the last day of the season, then they're probably going to sit guys. So that's what you hope on Easter Sunday, that they just sit everybody. They play on Easter Sunday at like 2:30 in the afternoon.
Which for me, I'm like, fine, I get it. But for a team that's in Oklahoma,
Yeah,
like maybe the NBA, although 2:00, you'd be all right, man. Just make that your thing.
well,
Hey, we're gonna go to church, we're gonna go eat, and we're going to the Thunder game.
yeah. I just wish it was at 6.
Sure.
2:30 is prime Easter egg hunting time.
It's prime. Yes,
Easter egg hunt in the morning.
No, you don't.
No,
you
never do that.
Do not.
You gotta work up to it.
No.
Have some freaking kids, dude.
Sorry, dude. We have an adult Easter egg hunt in my family.
Oh,
It's
with
got
gift cards and stuff in it?
cash, baby.
No,
Wow.
yeah.
Still,
Yeah,
I guess adult. Yeah,
because that's what gets the adults
people going.
there.
There, exactly.
Like,
That's
if it
how
was
your
nothing-
parents bribe you over.
Yeah, that's how you get there. It's awesome.
yeah. Did y'all grow up? This is a
I did, yeah.
point of.
I did.
Yeah.
Here
Debatable.
today.
Did y'all grow up doing like how big of a holiday was Easter for y'all growing up?
Yeah, it was a big holiday.
A
Like,
big
did y'all do
nothing
baskets?
burger.
Yeah.
We didn't do baskets.
I didn't do it.
Maybe we
didn't
did
do
like
it.
when I was really young, but
Yeah.
once I crossed like 5 or 6, I don't think we did anything. I also have really bad memory, like not bad memories.
Really have.
I have really bad memories. I really don't like to
Easter's
revisit
rough.
that.
Let's process those.
Yeah.
Let's,
Hold on. Yeah, the second part of this podcast is Jay's counseling session. No, I just didn't. It's not a thing, and for my wife,
Because
For
she's
her-
Muslim.
for her, it's a big deal. What? I mean,
Easter's not a
Why
big deal for
is
your
that-
wife.
no, it
why
is a
Easter's not a
huge
big
deal
deal.
for her.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
huge deal. We've got like
Oh
a
my
life-size Easter bunny.
We
What?
growing up,
It's real. He's a real person.
Oh my
He's
god.
a real bunny.
growing
It's weird, man.
up, my
7 foot
family
2.
would host like my dad's firm's like Easter egg hunt for his whole firm, and so it was like a ton of people that were over at my house in a huge Easter egg hunt. It was a big deal.
We used to do Easter egg hunts at church,
Mhm.
and then we had to like have security with
The
us.
eggs aren't even hidden at that point. There's
No,
so many eggs.
It's no, you just throw them out
There's
on the yard.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And we had to have security come in because there were people like
Stealing.
fighting,
Wow.
fighting over eggs. Like, one kid would have 500 in one bag and one kid have 3.
Yeah.
Moms are. So we're like, we can pivot away from that for a season.
It's time.
This year we're having a C-130 airplane drop over 3 million Easter eggs at our church.
Wow.
We went the other direction. Sorry. We didn't stop doing it. We went insane with it.
Yes, we're having a tactical drop of Easter eggs. It's going
You
to
remember Operation Dumbo Drop?
what's that?
That's the exact same thing.
Wow.
Mhm.
New Orleans won last night.
Yeah.
That
That was,
was,
yeah.
uh,
No
Yeah,
Jokic.
yeah, the Nuggets just bailed on playing.
I know. What was up with that? I mean, New Orleans came in hot though.
Yeah, New
They're
Orleans
playing
is-
really well.
They're playing
Yeah.
well. They're still gonna have a shot at this.
Not sure their best player is ever going to play basketball again.
I know he's like reevaluated after the season's over. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, what were your guys' feelings between? Because I got to talk it out with Alex on Wednesday. But your feelings in between Charlotte and Detroit in those games, really up until the tip in, like what's your feelings like on all of that, on the Mark Daigneault discourse, everything?
Yeah, I was way more Team Alex.
I was
Yeah.
too.
It
I was
doesn't make any
really
sense to me. Like I even noticed it during the game where you're just like watching this, and the Thunder should have never been in that position. Like let's
Mm-mm.
at least need to own that. Like I think that's the failures, and you guys did address that on Wednesdays. They should have never been toying around with this Hornets team.
Yeah, this should have.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, it felt like Mark felt compelled in the name of fairness to match the talent for a few minutes in the fourth quarter. It's like, hey, let's give
Yeah.
the Hornets they're only got one NBA player, so let's throw a couple two-way guys and everybody else on the floor. And so I was ticked. And part of that is I was ticked. Part of that is because number one, you have feelings again for a team, like you're
Yeah.
expecting them to win. I am always worried about the psychological or emotional side of like if the franchise is intentional, which I don't think they're intentional. I think Mark was just trying something and it ended up not working well.
I mean, if you're going to play Jared Butler
That's the time you should play him.
and Poku,
Yep.
like this should be the game that
I
you
know.
should be able to do
Yep.
it.
And you could tell based on the Pistons game that he was like, no, we're not messing with that again.
Yeah,
I was just gonna go over minutes from that Pistons game actually, because like what Alex was saying on the podcast, I think everyone go back and listen to it. I'm not going to summarize it because I do a terrible job of summarizing it anyway. But Alex texted us during the Pistons game and said, "Hey, I don't think we're tinkering this game." And if you look at the minutes that the players played in the Pistons game, they were really trying to win. Andrew Wiggins was the only player off the bench to go double digits in minutes.
Andrew Wiggins played for the Thunder?
Aaron Wiggins.
Oh, okay.
He played 31 minutes. 31 minutes off the bench.
Hey,
the next closest was Trey Mann at 9 minutes.
It's great.
It's great. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it's like, why do we do this now? Why was it like so different? Why was the approach the opposite?
I think we just alluded to it. I think it was surely we can roll out some guys that need some minutes. Like, we don't know if we need something, not from Butler, but you know what I'm saying, from Poku or whoever else was.
You sign the guy, you want to give him a chance at some point.
You just thought maybe you could throw him out there against the Hornets, but instead what happened is it totally
and they
backfired.
also almost did it too. You know, they almost won that game against the Hornets. Like, if they would have just played defense for like 30 more seconds at some point in that game.
It was also a glaring, like, you can just tell this team doesn't have a big man that actually you can just see it. This guy gets a putback dunk that basically wins the game. Whatever, Nick Richards. And it's like, it's just like you had Dort trying to block him out, or you had all these guys that give up 8 inches on him, and it's like, you know, you could just tell, even with J-Dub or JRE. I think JRE was playing a lot more towards the end of that game too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played 19 consecutive minutes toward
that's
the end
right.
of that game.
So it was, you know, like, even him, we've said it from the beginning, he's more positionally a 4.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the height to the body to do that. And so that's why and on the way over here, I was thinking about it whenever I was listening to the intro. It's like, and I think McKellar has mentioned this before. Obviously, the goal of the season is not necessarily to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It'd be a great sign.
I mean, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
That it wouldn't happen.
But there's no doubt
Yeah.
if they never traded Mike Muscala, that they probably win that game for sure.
You would think.
And then you could probably go back and see a few other games. I think it was the Jazz game, one of the Jazz games they lost. Yeah, where Laurie went crazy, where I'm like, just to have a big person, because they were running that lineup with Olynyk and Kessler and
they were giant,
and it was like giants, and just to have like one serviceable, legit big man. And I'm the J. Will fan club president.
Yeah, I think J. Will could have played more against the Hornets.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was a little bit weird. He actually wasn't great early on in that game,
right?
And then the sad one for him was it wasn't even the Hornets game. It was the Lakers game. They weren't guarding him at the 3-point line at all, which he's throughout most of the season, he actually made them pay.
Yeah.
But I feel like he regressed to the mean in that single game over the entire season.
Yeah.
But
so another factor in all of this that I hadn't really thought about that McKelly actually brought up on Thunder After Dark is that the Thunder after tonight will have played 17 games in March.
Yeah, dude, they were tired. And J-Dub said it.
Like, that is so many games.
And how many on the road too? I mean, they had a huge road trip. Like a really long road trip.
They played a lot on the road.
16 of them, I think.
Feels like it.
Some of it is like, okay, we need some way to not play these guys a cajillion minutes, especially here at the end of this run. Like, that's also a factor within this. And then clearly, like, Shea being out. Was it even Lindy Waters being out with plantar fasciitis in that game? I'm not sure that Jared Butler plays a whole lot if Lindy is there.
Fair.
And having Lindy, like, Lindy's been pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that just having his size out there and his defensive ability would have helped quite a bit.
Yeah, he's a tryhard too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he would have made a difference in a game where it was like 1 point made all the difference.
Also free throws. Like, if we can just
like
make
your free throws.
You just saw even J-Dub but you saw both of them just like, and on Josh's, if you rewatch his missed free throw, he has a hitch. Like, so important in free throws to just consistency. What's your rhythm? How many dribbles? How many spins? What does your body language look like? If you rewatch that, Josh has a hitch. So he has his normal routine. He's actually been pretty decent from the free throw line.
Yeah, he's been good. Yeah.
And so, but he had this hitch where he like stopped and then went up for the shot. And it was like, I told you, I could have told you immediately when that ball left his hand was not going in.
Part of it, I wonder, had to do with the way that first one went in, is that it touched every part of the rim. Bounced off the
so
back.
His stress went from like a 75 to like 120.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, that was.
Well, not to mention like random things. Did you mention? I didn't see the 2-minute report. Did you say there was a foul in that game?
Yeah, Nick Richards. It was
You
offensive
think the
loose ball foul.
League's going against the Thunder. They don't want the Thunder in.
Well, I think that we need to call the Hornets back and replay the last 30 seconds of that game, please.
I'm gonna get a shirt that says "Question Authority" or whatever.
Yeah,
You're big into conspiracies today.
Yeah, today. I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Helen Keller?
I'm ready. Always ready.
yeah.
And then the other one, just for the sake of, and it doesn't matter anymore, but like the worst tie ball or jump ball call.
Oh, in the
ever
Pistons.
at the end of that Pistons game.
It was like, who's he tying up with?
It literally just
His
grabbed it,
left and
yanked
right
it up, and then
hand?
made a
Like,
layup,
what's
and they're
going
like,
on here?
"What?"
Yeah, that was
they tried
insane.
they tried to put I think it was, I don't know if it was Duran or if it was Bagley. Like they initially had them one of their bigs in Lou.
And you were just like, no, don't do this.
Instead it was Eugene who didn't even jump for the sake of the Thunder.
Did you guys
Thank
see?
you, Gene.
Did you guys see Pistons fans
Shouts to
so
Gene.
pissed at Omarui
Oh,
for
they're
taking pictures with the Thunder?
They're
guys
so
after
mad
the
at
game?
Gene. God,
Yeah.
they love him so much.
Yeah, the Thunder.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody in my life that I would be that excited about seeing.
Well, also, I mean, it's also like the euphoria of winning the game. And it's like, oh, there's Gene. You know,
And he's like, "Good job, guys."
Nice win.
I was kind of nervous though when Eugene was on the floor at the end of the game. I was like, "Is he gonna be the one that like finishes us off
like a revenge game?"
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so many things had to go right for that tip in to even occur. You know, Dort tapped that with his left hand.
It was a great jump ball.
Like he hit the jump ball with his left hand to Josh. Josh is double teamed over there and
still shoots it.
But he finds a way. Like, good thing it was James Wiseman that was guarding him because he just had him just in a tizzy, got the shot off. And like, just
do you remember? Like, let's at least rehash the fact that Josh took the last shot that got the tie ball, and it was like the least smooth looking final shot in the history of the NBA.
Yeah,
he did this like back down spinning kind of baby hook shot, and it was like almost if they would have just pulled the chair on him, you know, that defensive play where you just kind of get out of the way. There's a chance he would have fallen down because he was like,
definitely.
I mean, it was so awkward finishing that shot. Dude.
Well, he got the shot off, and then the Pistons are just watching the ball and they just don't box out. And J-Dub is there. I mean, the margins are so slim.
This podcast would be so dark.
Just if one of those things didn't happen, then we are in a very dark place.
It's the same thing that
today.
happened with the Hornets though, but just in the other way.
Yeah, I mean, if they
those
just
games were like pretty similar.
I think if Josh makes that free throw, I think they go to overtime, and I think they win.
Yeah, they were playing so much better than them for the last 5 minutes because they cared.
J-Dub missed a free throw too.
Yeah,
I know.
J-Dub. Yeah, if he makes one, I mean, it's just the slimmest of margins.
He missed the front end one, right? Like he missed the first of the two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is like when that happens, the likelihood of you missing the second one is like exponentially more.
It was terrible. It was the arena was so quiet after that game, after it ended. It was just like
been kind of fun is like, even though it was a lower crowd because nobody's like changing their plans to go see a Shayla's team play the Pistons, but it still felt at the end of the game, especially.
People aren't showing up when Shea is in the lineup either.
True. I think it's Bally Sports. That's my opinion. I think it's reducing the amount of buy-in for this team.
Yeah, I think so too.
True.
I think so too.
There's definitely a case to be made for that.
So get them off the freaking channel. Like, let's just get whatever. Just put it somewhere people can access it.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. But yeah, it's just funny. Like the slimmest of margins change how people feel about so many things about the franchise and about the team and about everything. Just like that,
guys. I'll be right back in the pit tonight if they lose.
If they lose, I mean, they might do that. No Halliburton
for the Pissers.
No
Pissers.
Jay is fully back. Everybody, Jay is fully back.
Who's playing for the Pacers?
Halliburton's out.
Yeah.
Duarte's out.
What about Miles?
He's questionable.
Let's go ahead and get him.
Left ankle soreness. Kendall Brown also out. But yeah,
they don't have any reason to win.
They don't. They should not want to win.
Neither did the Hornets or the Pistons.
The Hornets for sure. The Pistons want to keep losing, though. You know, they've got the worst record in the league, and they want to hold on to that. They've got so they would have been tied in the loss column with Houston had they won that game. And so those games are actually pretty important for them, just to stay there. And it doesn't actually increase their odds at all.
Yeah,
The top three are the same. Detroit,
San
Houston,
Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yep.
The odds are the same, but this is a conversation we've had for years, but it's just how far you can fall. You know, like if you're number 1, you can only fall to 5. If you're 2, you can fall as far as 6.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary.
3 out of the lottery.
So Indy is currently tied. They have the same amount of losses as Orlando and Portland. They have 44 losses. So it does behoove them to continue to lose games here toward the end of the season. So, I mean, if I'm Indy, I'm just...
Yeah, Miles, how's your ankle? I'm fine. I can play. All right, go ahead and sit tonight.
Yeah, I would be...
No, you're not.
No, I think you got some
No, you're
problems.
not. Yeah, I would think he wouldn't play because it's pretty important for Indiana to get a good pick here.
And then the Thunder come back on Sunday with Phoenix at home.
Yeah, Phoenix at home, 6:00 tip.
Have a fully healthy Phoenix as well.
Yeah,
It's a little bit different. And then they're on the road, Utah and Golden State, and then
Yeah.
they're back home for the Grizzlies, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
They're
2-2.
Yeah,
Can they get 2-2?
I think 2-2 is possible. It's probably like the most likely outcome is 2-2.
We need a 3-1. We need a 4-0.
I mean, if they can get a 4-0, that would be great. I think that
4-0, they'll be the 7 seed.
Listen,
Although the Wolves are playing pretty well.
What's more important, the Thunder winning these games to make the play-in, or the Thunder winning these games so we can release a shirt?
That's right. That is right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know we don't want to talk about it, but if the Thunder make it into the play-in, there is a shirt. It is the best shirt we've ever done.
Ever.
We will not release it or show you what it was if they do not make the
Yeah,
play-in.
it's true. So
Man, that is like a lot of pressure. Do you
lot
think
of
the
pressure.
Thunder know what's riding on this?
did I have any clue?
If you're
They would have
listening,
known about it. I
guys,
should have shown them the design before the game, the Hornets game.
Don't do that because
Don't do that.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Guys, no. They would have loved it. They would have loved it. They would have played harder. They would have won the game. So the Mavs are really the only thing to worry Thunder fans right now. They play on Saturday in Miami. Then they play at Atlanta. They're back home for Sacramento and Chicago. And then it's not easy. And they finish the season against San Antonio on Sunday.
That's easy.
See, so the Mavs scare me, and this is why I was wanting the Pelicans to lose. Like last night.
Why do the Mavs scare you?
Well, just because I don't know, they have a superstar. That's the
Yeah.
one. And it's like if the Pelicans just lose out, then that gives us another opportunity to stay in there.
I can't believe they rescinded his 16th technical.
I know.
That was such BS.
He's probably going to get one in the next few
That's what I'm
games.
saying. That's
They'll
what I'm
rescind
thinking
it.
of, but it's like
They'll rescind it.
maybe they want Luka to be in either in the play-in or whatever.
Yeah,
I am conspiracy this morning.
You are.
really
I
are.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was driving
you
over
see-
here to see the chemtrails.
Did you see what?
You can see him in the dark.
I don't even know what that means.
See him in the dark. Did you see what Rudy Gobert said?
Rudy G? No.
Yeah, he's like you. You're like just like Gobert.
Great. I've never felt more offended.
Wow.
He said, "I've been
Yeah,
in
that
this
is a
league for
huge
10 years,
diss.
and it's BS. The league is definitely helping." Who do you say? The Suns. There were 4 teams he named: the Suns, the Kings, I think the Nuggets, and the Warriors to win. Yeah,
He's the lamest person.
he really is.
Apparently, me too.
So yeah, why did you say that?
Thank you so much.
Conspiracy. Okay, let's move on to Tayshawn's back to the Victor.
John's back to a bigger victory. Take John's back to a bigger victory.
I'm Tayshawn. This is my victory. The Kings have clinched a playoff spot for the first time since 2006.
Yay!
Good job, Kings. 2006. Wow, that's a long time ago. Let's go back and see what was going on in the world in 2006. Well, there was a very big celebrity death. Steve Irwin, TV's crocodile hunter, was killed by a freak stingray accident. He was a hero to millions of children. Stingray injuries are almost never fatal. This was only the second death by stingray in the history of Australian people.
Is that true?
That's true.
They don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen
Very
often.
freak thing.
It really does not happen very often at all.
Wow.
What else happened?
R.I.P. baby.
iTunes billionth song was downloaded. It was The Speed of Sound by Coldplay.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool? What else we got here? I have a lot.
2006, y'all were in college.
Yeah, sophomore year of
Sophomore
college.
year of college. Yeah.
Tayshaun, you were in high school.
I was. Dick
Freshman.
Cheney accidentally shot his friend Harry
remember that.
Whittington in the face. Love Mr. Cheney or hate him, you don't mess with this ex-vice president.
Did you write this? Or
No,
just
I'm
off the
reading.
top of your-
I'm reading
it's-
off of like a pop culture history site.
Okay, great.
Crash won Best Film Oscar.
Is there any?
Is
there?
this
Is there?
Is there
Is there a
point?
question to
Is there a
this? Is
point
there
to
like a
this?
prompt that
What?
you're getting to?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping I'd prompt some like memories or something.
Let's see if we can remember who was the
Talking to
champion.
your mic, Jay.
Who was the champion? Wow. I really am over here and I've turned into Luke.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theorist, not talking to the mic.
Yep. Something
Do
out of it over
you-
there.
So let's talk about 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of your head, do you remember who the NBA champion was?
Miami Heat.
That was the Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, James Posey, Gary Payton.
I can almost maybe tell you the whole
Antoine
roster.
Walker.
Yeah, Antoine Walker was on that. Jason
Yeah, I was
Williams.
gonna say White Chocolate was on that team.
Alonzo Mourning was on that team.
Yep. Yeah, that was a fun Heat team.
Disney quietly
No.
cut ties with McDonald's in 2006 as to not be associated with childhood obesity. Which is great. I mean, there haven't been Disney toys at McDonald's since then, I guess.
Wow. How about that?
Hasn't been child obesity either.
Yep.
No, they cut
Went
ties.
away.
Well,
It
not
went
in
away
Disney's
right after
world.
that.
We beat it.
Thank you, Disney.
William Shatner auctioned off a kidney stone that raised $25,000 and it was given to Habitat for Humanity. William
Kidney
Shatner's
stone
always
was?
been weird. Yeah.
You know, William Shatner's like 90,
Yeah.
91 or
I
something
saw him
like
on Shark Week. He scuba dived at 90.
Wow.
that. He looks good for 90.
He looks pretty good, but he can still scuba dive. I mean, that's pretty impressive. With
I
sharks.
can't scuba dive and I'm 40.
I know. I haven't even. I've never been.
All right, we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna get some life advice from the L Man. We'll be right back. And we're back.
And we're back. Hey guys, it's time for me to give some advice. This person asking for advice is named Jameson. And he says, I need some advice. My wife and I moved to Boston. My wife. And I moved to Boston for grad school.
Bastin.
In May. In May, she's graduating, and it will be the first time when my family and her family visit us at the same time. The two sides of our family get along fine, but are very different. Her family loves to drink and doesn't care much for touristy activities. My family does not drink, and they love seeing all the local attractions. How do we thread the proverbial needle to entertain both for a couple days with the least drama possible?
That's a great question.
Here's what I think you should do. And I don't know that this is in Boston, but I think it is. Sam Adams Brewery. You should go and tour that.
Yeah.
Because
Boston?
I think it is too.
It is.
Because like all their stuff is about, all the commercials are about Boston. And so you have some like historical stuff because they'll tell you about the history of it. You get to see like all the stuff and they'll be giving out free samples. So the ones that not interested in the historical stuff, they've got the beers. People that aren't interested in the beers, they get to see the historical stuff.
That's a good one,
Well, and I think the funny thing about this is when you're like, so one, do they just want to sit at your house and just pound beers? It's all they're like, hey, we're coming to Boston. What do y'all want to do? Sit in your house and just drink? Like, no, they still want to do something, but they're going to go to bars instead of museums, right? So what you do is you just split your time. You always got to have a good restaurant or a good bar as your stopping point in between the two, right? So you got to go look at some cool historical things in the morning. Go hit lunch up at one of your favorite pubs or whatever.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else, do that. And
Plus, they're gonna have bars there that are like 150 years old.
yeah, you're in Boston.
Yeah, like there's gonna be some pretty cool stuff that are old historical bars that I think you can see. Like, yeah,
the Cheers bar.
Yes.
You know what? I bet that there is like a tourism like cart or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's
you
like
could
a
bike
drinking
around
one.
and drink and see all these different places.
Yeah, like those bicycle, like where everyone's pedaling and you're seeing the city and all that stuff. I bet there's that too.
I've never done one of those. Have y'all done one of those?
No.
They look fun.
I don't really want to work out while I'm trying to have a good time with my friends.
I could do it.
Could you?
I would.
Let's do it down to dunk night.
Pedaling
around.
Just get ready because I'm gonna get sweaty.
Same.
Get ready. Get sweaty. Yeah, drinking has to be involved in whatever you do, is what it sounds like.
I did
if you're
realize,
gonna do the
that's what's
looking
gonna
around,
that's what's gonna happen. That's what has to happen.
I did realize. So when we went to Kansas City and we went to Houston for that conference last week, like so much of traveling is just eating at places in different cities or drinking in places in different cities. It's like, so mark out a few restaurants. It'll be a good time. Have some slower time and have some full time. You got to compromise, man.
Yeah, you got to compromise.
And you know what? There's going to be time in the day where it's like, all right, we're going to go back. That was fun in the morning. They can split up. You don't have to
You don't
spend
have to
the
stay
whole
together
time.
together.
Yep.
Or just buy a crap ton of pocket shots right before you go into the museum.
Yep, exactly.
Boom. Fantastic time. And that's the recipe for a great time.
What pocket shots
I'm
are
assuming in Boston it's not as much. Like it is some museums, but it's a lot of just going to places that are historic. So it's like that's why you could kind of do both. You don't need pocket shots. You could just be carrying just a Bubba keg full of cocktail.
There you go.
Whoa.
What is
a Bubba keg?
Do you remember those?
No.
They're the
they were
big
like
it's
the-
the big
yeah.
barrel looking cup.
It's like the official cup of the lake.
It's like 90 ounces.
Yeah, that was the
Really?
same year that the Kings made the playoffs. The Bubba keg was popular.
Wow. Western Union sent the last telegram in 2006.
It was the Bubba keg.
And you love 2006.
Huge fan.
Wow. Taylor's favorite year, 2006. Okay, we're going to do some Twitter questions.
Twitter questions. You got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Now let's get down to it.
Hey, welcome to Twitter questions. Our first Twitter question comes from @dpuzzle13, who wants to know SGA for MIP. I know we tend to ask about MVP odds, but does he have a legit shot for most improved player?
Who's been getting the narrative for most improved player?
Marketing.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, makes a ton of sense. What about De'Aaron Fox?
Fox is going to win the Clutch Player
Oh, yeah, the
Award.
Jerry West Award.
Yeah, he'll win that. And so I don't think that he'll be on ballots certainly for most improved, but I don't think that he'll actually
I can't imagine Shea.
get there.
I mean, if Shea's going to get first team All NBA, which is what there's enough at least narrative heading that direction. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's going to.
Yeah,
most
like
improved.
so, like the Vegas odds have Markkanen as number one. He's like minus 500 to win, and then Shea's like plus 250.
Okay,
so that's
Substantial
Vegas
difference.
odds. So yeah,
Is he second in the odds?
yeah, he's second in odds, and then like Jalen Brunson is up there, but he's like way down in odds. Mikal Bridges, Tyrese Maxey, Franz Wagner, De'Aaron Fox is on there too. Şengün.
Şengün?
You can get odds. Like this is what I don't understand about Vegas is you can get odds on Jaren Jackson Jr. being the most improved player
They'll take your money for anything.
at plus 15,000. It's like what? But like what? Why would you even do that?
I mean, at those odds, you almost have to take it.
Yeah, you throw $100.
You can
on
get
that,
Lou Dort odds for most improved.
Yeah, it's got to be Laurie.
Yeah, I think Markkanen's going to win. He's been really, really good for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Well, the Jazz have been a surprise team this year.
yeah,
Like if they would have really continued on, they'd probably be in this play-in. They already are in the play-in mix.
yeah.
But if they clearly throttled down after the all-star.
So Markkanen's averaging 25 points per game this season. Do you know what he averaged last year in Cleveland?
17.
14. And that's a big jump. I mean, I think one thing that you have to consider with all of these awards is the counting stats, because not every voter watches these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you just can't watch everybody all the time. The average voter probably watches everybody maybe 2 or 3 times.
Well, that's why the narrative also matters a lot too.
The narrative matters so much, and I think it's in favor of Markkanen. I think he'll win, but Shea will get votes. Certainly, Shea is going to. I think he's going to be first team All NBA. He's going to get MVP votes.
What was he in the straw poll? Sixth.
So he's going to be on some people's MVP ballots, and then he's going to get on the most improved ballots. I mean, he's going to be kind of sprinkled throughout.
That's quite a season.
Yeah, he's had a ridiculous season.
First team All NBA.
First team All NBA. Some of it is just the injuries that have happened with the guards, but also there are so many good guards in the league. I mean, you think about Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
I think that he's going to get voted over Donovan Mitchell for first team.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
So, I mean,
well, and Jaw's whole fall apart thing too.
Yeah, Ja might be first team All NBA if he didn't do what he did.
And Dame missing out.
Being on a horrific team, helps, and then missing time.
They got to get him out of there, man.
And then
the right thing to do is probably to have a mutual conversation about his next destination.
Yeah. Steph Curry missing a bunch of time helps. I mean, there's a lot of circumstances that led to him getting here, but also him averaging 31 points per game.
And being incredible.
And being one of the best guards in the NBA definitely helps.
It's so great because, like, right now, everything in Oklahoma City for the Thunder is just trending up.
Yeah.
Like, Shea's sprinkled throughout all these ballots. J-Dub is, probably going to be second for Rookie of the Year. Chet is hurt, and we haven't even seen him.
Yeah.
And, the other, like the game that we lost the other day, it was a bummer we lost. We had 3 players that scored over 30 points, 30 points or more.
Yeah.
I mean,
all 3 of them were at 24 and younger.
Yeah. And so
how old's Isaiah Joe? 24?
I think he's 23.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't remember ever,
there's
been a long
ton
time.
of positives.
It's been a long time since it felt like this. It's like, hey, this, it's all good stuff. You know?
Yeah. And part of that is if you go back in our history, you're looking at, if you were matching years, you're looking at 2010, 2011, roughly. The difference is there's so much more content around the NBA.
Yeah.
To where I don't know what the narrative would have been in the same sense around the organization. Probably very similar.
Yeah.
And it's hard because Katie was such a transcendent player that it's hard to make that comp with Shea's rise.
Mm-hmm.
But in his own right, he is transcending. He's ascending to that superstar level on his own anyway at this point.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I don't know if it's a surprise necessarily. I think it's surprising that it's this elite.
Mm-hmm.
We all pretty much knew. There were a few games. I remember the Chicago game where I think he had like 20 rebounds and 20 points or something like that a couple years ago. And you're like, dude, he's a superstar. But to first team All NBA is not just a superstar. Like there's some level that he's about to reach that is really that generational stuff, and that's why it's so encouraging for this team. And Chet has a ton of pressure on him. I don't think he'll feel it or care about it. It's kind of his personality, but I just think next year we're going to look at this roster and it's going to be mostly complete.
Yeah. It's just crazy that it's happened. I did not think it was going to happen this quickly. We've blown past what was,
How do you think Sam or Mark feel like it was? Like we're confident it was going to be this quick. They let it just kind of develop in its own timeline.
There's I don't think anybody thought. I don't think you could have reasonably thought. Prior to the season, that I think we're good. I think we got our core. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, because we were supposed to win 24 games. Like that's what Vegas had.
Yeah, Vegas thought that we were going to be terrible again. I thought that I picked them to win 27 games. And I felt like I was being optimistic.
Yeah,
I think I said 41 or so.
That's right. You also had Chet come. Chet had
no, that was Taylor. Taylor had him come back for 25 games.
I think that was you.
No, it was not.
No,
it definitely was Taylor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's great.
It's
just like I love it.
It's the best. We've mentioned it earlier. Now we're already starting to fall out of this. This was as soon as you start having expectations, everything shifts as far as your excitement for a team. Now it can still be exciting, but it's not like this is for 90% of the season until this last week. Choose dumb.
Yeah,
it's fun regardless. Win, loss, whatever. Now it's like they lose to the Hornets, and I'm like, they've got to make a deal.
Yeah,
guys, this is roster.
They need to blow it up.
I don't know if we can do this, guys. Is Mark the right coach for this team? Which he may also get coach of the year.
He's going to get coach of the year votes.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the coach of the year? Malone?
No. Mike Brown will probably win.
Brown, yeah. First time since 2006.
Yeah.
Last time a telegram was sent.
That's right.
Crash movie of the year.
We did 2006 trivia already for the Athletic NBA show. Like one of them was, well, who was the Time Magazine Person of the Year?
In 2006?
Yeah. This made me so
Person
mad.
of the Year, not most sexiest man.
Yes, correct.
2006.
Gosh, I have no idea.
2006?
Yeah.
You just keep saying it as if it's going to bring. Just keep saying a year, maybe at some point.
In year.
I know, because I would think Obama, but he didn't get elected until 2008, and so it wouldn't be him.
It wasn't him. It was somebody that you probably think most highly of.
I think highly of?
Most highly of.
Most highly of.
Yeah.
Out of us.
Huh.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan?
I think. What was happening in 2006?
Joe Rogan.
Taylor's website up again. I don't know.
It's you.
No, it was one thing where it's like, it's all of us.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
That's how I felt too. I was really angry.
But did they run out of actual options?
I don't know. It's so dumb.
Yeah, what? I was a sophomore in college.
It wasn't me.
It definitely was not me.
Man, I was
That-
in a duplex doing
pounding beers.
Yeah, it was 2006.
Oh, it's terrible. It's so terrible.
Some good tunes
so
on that year, though.
That should teach magazines like don't do dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, please don't ever do something like that ever again.
Yeah, because everyone looks back and like that's so stupid. I do, but however, I do love that pick. I am great. Do we want to go to our next Twitter question?
Yeah.
Okay. It is from at about to dunk, who says you talked the other day about it being hard to find a player comp for Josh Giddey. Would it be easier to comp him to power forwards and centers than guards, i.e., is he a small Sabonis or a small Porter shooting Jokic? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
Just call him Jokic.
Jokic. That's how you read it.
Jičić. I mean, no, those are both probably not very good comps.
No, he's not as much of a bowling ball as Sabonis is. Like
Yeah.
Sabonis just can bully people all over the floor.
And Giddey does that a little bit, but yeah, it's not a
He
good.
tried to.
Statistically, is there a comp for them? Yes. With actual play on the court and style, like how they present themselves stylistically, like no.
Yeah,
Dylan in the chat. This is one that we've gone to a lot. It's like Jason, like 6'8" Jason Kidd is like probably the best comp.
Yeah.
That makes
But he also looked to score way more than Kidd.
They just have
Some of that could be reflective of the way of the league today.
It's such a bad comp because one has so much hair and one has none.
Yeah,
So
it
it's not
does start
really-
falling apart
It doesn't
pretty
make-
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Can't get my head around it.
Yeah, and I don't honestly I feel guilty for even saying this. I never probably paid enough attention to Jason Kidd when he was
Yeah.
in his prime. Like I remember because I was a Lakers fan, and so I remember when they played the Nets, but that was all I cared about is watching Shaq and Kobe just run them off the court 4 games in a row.
Right. I mean, late career Jason Kidd played off ball quite a bit, but like his first 12 years of the league, he didn't play off ball. And that's where like Giddey also is different because Giddey, I think if Jason Kidd is on your team, he is your point guard, the end. He has the ball in his hands probably all the time. That's how he was for the Nets and for the Mavericks and for the Suns. But Giddey has proven that he can be a pretty malleable player.
Yeah.
And I just don't think there's a good comp for him, which makes it harder to think about like what he could be.
Yeah.
And I think it's
And
why
his
like,
future is
that's why we
uncertain.
can jump to J-Dub being a superstar. It's like, oh yeah, we've seen this guy. We've seen this story before many times. And like
Yeah.
they're all star players.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, I think that's that's pretty smart way of understanding it, because you're right. Like, not being able to predict what he evolves into does probably limit what we do think about his future.
Yeah, I think people a lot of times basketball fans, and if you're a fan of a particular franchise, especially if your team is young, you live in fantasy land 90% of the time, when you think about the team. You talk a little bit about the games that have happened, then you're like, but what could be? What's Chet gonna do? And then like, what are they gonna do in the off season? Like, what is this? We just live in fantasy land for the most part, and it's just hard to think about like, where does this go for Josh? And I think people have completely, and I've been saying this all week, just completely underrated the season that he's had this year.
Yeah, he's been great, especially recently. Like in this defensively against the Pistons, he kind of lacked, and even against the Hornets a little bit. But some of the things he was doing offensively,
yeah,
just his ability against the Hornets in particular. Anytime he was switched on to anybody, he was going to the rim without any hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has made 3 or 4 passes in the last week that were just that pass, the bounce pass he made into the lane to Jay Will against the Blazers. And then he did that wraparound kind of behind the back pass to Wiggins for the layup. Those are, for a 20-year-old,
it's insane.
Elite passes to make.
After the game the other day when J-Dub won us the game, and I just had, like, I was watching his interview at the end, just in the back of my head there was just this like fear, and this is from like Thunder history, that made me think just like, oh no, how are we going to pay for all these people?
Somebody might get squeezed.
And it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have.
But it's just like, well, I've seen this before, and it didn't go right last time. It's like, oh no.
Well, the good news is that the Thunder are making money and have made money the past 3 years, like made a lot of money, and they use that. They basically bank it, and it's like, this is how we're going to pay for the team when they're good.
I think the biggest tell as far as what Sam learned and what the organization learned from the last era is, I think they just, and Sam still doesn't do this. If he doesn't get a contract, he's going to figure out a way to move him. But I think they're going to spend the money up front and then deal with the repercussions. So if they get to the point where they're flaming out, kind of like they did with the Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, where it's like, we'll start making cost saving moves after a season.
Yeah.
Because kind of beneficial is Shea's starting his max. Josh isn't, they're enough spaced out where you start getting in trouble as J-Dub and Chet are probably both going to command just a prediction.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
But if hopefully the organization is just saying, like, we're going to pay to keep these guys because these are our guys. And then just we'll figure out the financial repercussions on the other side of it. Now they're not going to be the Warriors and be paying $500 million tax every year.
Yeah.
But they're going to be willing to do what they can to keep these guys.
Well, and the extension rules are probably going to change. And so with this new CBA, and it may favor the Thunder this time around with those, where like the extensions can actually be offered to guys.
And that could be the learning point too, is like Sam was operating so much in some of their navigating the salary cap from the CBA that he was always 1 year behind the change in the CBA.
Yeah.
And so just being able to say, like, all right, now we can kind of predict a little more, because we don't ever think about the fact that what was Sam hired in 2009, 2010?
Yeah.
And he was 3-4 years into his career. Now he's 20 years almost into his career. 15, 18 years, something like that. Whatever. 2009 and now it's 14 years in his career.
He was hired 07.
Okay.
Was his first year.
So you're 16 years into your career.
He was hired after the lottery.
He knows so much more today than he knew back then.
Yeah.
As far as like, all right, now we can kind of predict that the CBA is going to evolve. Like, there's always going to be more money. There's always going to be better opportunities to keep teams like us.
Even just the way they handle the roster. I mean, J-Dub starts, they weren't looking to try to make somebody into Manu Ginobili this time around.
Nope.
where they wanted to kind of do that with Harden.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, like he's going to start. Like our best players are starting the game.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff is not there anymore. Because I mean, you could easily try to make one of Giddey or J-Dub the sixth man of this team and be like, hey, we need extra ball handling off the bench. Like you could reasonably talk yourself into it, as like, why would they come off the bench? Well, because we need our backup point guard. No, it's like, actually our backup point guard starts and he's 6'6", and and they just stagger them. I mean, so I think they've learned a lot of lessons. I mean, you would have had to,
yes. Yeah, and the other thing you see is the way they're composing this team. Like, they're trying to create a team full of well-sized guys who can do pretty much anything on the court.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they still lack in true Thunder fashion is any of those stars being somebody you're really terrified about from the three-point line, except for J-Dub.
Yeah, even so, he doesn't take a ton of threes.
Yeah, but you still, I feel as across the season or as the season's progressed, you feel more and more like when he shoots, it's going to go in.
Yeah, you would want to have somebody that takes like 8 or 9 threes a game.
That isn't Isaiah Joe.
Yeah,
or Lou Dort.
And maybe it is Isaiah Joe. I don't know. He's been awesome.
He is awesome. But you hope it's one of those. I mean, honestly, and this is stupid, but Giddey's the one that changes the game if he can figure that out.
Yeah. And he's been better.
He has. J-Dub's the one. J-Dub can do anything on the floor.
Yeah.
He can attack. He can shoot mid-range. He can,
That's the other thing about Josh. It's just, that's hard to project is the shooting. But he's improved from 26% to 32.9%.
Yeah. Well, and it's the weird part about this season for Josh is, I think it was a kind of mid-February is I bet he shot 12% for a game, 8-game stretch.
Yeah, he was really bad for a while.
And then now he's back up, like since beginning of March, he shot like 40% or something from the three-point line. And so he's inconsistent, which is an encouraging thing. And I'll always go back to what Sam Vecini said before the draft in 2000, whenever that was, 21, is you asked him, like, out of all of the guys that aren't shooters, who are you projecting can become a shooter?
Yeah.
Because I think we're talking about Scotty Barnes and we're talking about, Giddey and a few of the guys. He's like, I feel the most confident in Giddey being able to do it. So, like, I keep holding on to that. And you've seen stretches. Like, that shot against Portland was huge that he hit.
Yeah. He's made progress.
Yeah.
It's hard to be truly critical of him during the stretch. He's done really well.
Hey guys, are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
I'm the opposite of miffed and peeved.
Ooh.
I'm grateful and blessed.
G&B.
Because last week I told you guys about that fundraiser that we're doing on behalf of my niece who has cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
And said if anyone wanted to, they should donate. They did not have to. And the Dunkers stepped up. We are one of the biggest contributors, over $1,200.
That's awesome.
I was blown away by.
Remind the listeners about the walk.
The walk. Okay. It is a walkathon. That is what is the event that's happening. It is May 13th, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's
13th,
right.
and it's at the Myriad Gardens.
It'll be beautiful.
It will be beautiful May Day, and you guys are invited to come join. Walk. It's going to be great. So everyone, if you want to, you can. Don't feel like you have to, but you guys were great. I mean, I was very grateful and very blessed that you guys did that. Did not expect that amount. I was very, very, very grateful and blessed.
That's how the Dunkers do it, man.
I was about to say, I was kind of expecting it, man. These people show up.
They have. Historically, they have.
They have.
Yeah, you just never know.
Can they still contribute?
Still can. Yeah. If you'd like to, you hear this, want to boost those numbers. Yeah, check out our Twitter tweeted it and it's out there.
I'll retweet it.
I just wonder because I'd like to know, just in a personal, competitive side of this, is I just wonder if we're not the number one giving team. I feel like we should probably accomplish that before the week.
I would agree with that.
It'd be cool. Right, as right now, so our team overall is the Rolling Sloans.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and we are the number one team, but we're high in contributors, but we're not number one. But we're doing good.
Well,
we've laid the expectation out there.
We're great.
You should do that.
You guys listening, you're great.
You're great.
Seriously,
everybody is great.
I had I'll tell you a funny story. And if you're listening to this, you need to follow back up with me. So, I think everybody's hearts have been in Nashville this week with that terrible tragedy that took place at Covenant Presbyterian School. And so I work at a church. We have a Children's Day Out program. We've got a homeschool co-op that meets there. We have a school that meets in half of our campus. And so everybody's just a little bit on high alert, right?
Yeah.
So this is Tuesday, and I'm at a meeting downtown, and I get a text message from a lady who's part of the homeschool co-op. She's like, hey, because we just talked before I left, like, just be aware, like, keep your eyes open, And she said, speaking of, I just walked a guy down to your office he knew your name and he was looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh crap, of course. He was just wandering the building trying to find me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I find out, fan of the podcast.
Yeah.
Guy named Andrew.
Yeah. I met him at the game.
Okay. Is that
yeah.
the picture? He drove from Iowa.
Yep.
Came in and like either drove by my church. He was like, this is where I think Jay is.
He told me that he went to your church.
Like, Andrew, like, you could have left me a phone number or something. I love to have connected with you, man. But it was like, everybody was like terrified. And then all of a sudden when they figured out who it was, they're like, oh, that's awesome. So, and then I have to tell people what I have this podcast. Be careful listening because there's two guys on it that sometimes try to torpedo my career. But so a little grateful and blessed about that, but a little bit miffed and peeved. So Andrew, what I was going to say is that Andrew, like, shoot me a DM or something, and at least next time I'd try to make a point to be there. So
at J. Ralph Smith.
Anyway, but I'm a little miffed and peeved. My son. So he does track at his middle school.
Yeah.
Did y'all do middle school track?
Yes.
It was I loved it because all you did is you would be gone for a day and I threw shot and I threw discus. You're gonna be shocked if you've ever seen me in person. Not a huge sprinter or long distance runner here, but so I threw shot and discus, and so we'd throw and then just go and lay in the bleachers and just hang out with our friends for a whole day. So they're at a meet in Yukon today. They start. This is why I was late this morning, is I had to get him to the school at 6:40.
Yeah.
We tried to get there at 6:30, but he was real slow this morning. Get him there at 6:40. His running events don't start till 11, and he runs an event at the beginning of the meet and the very end of the meet.
Oh no!
They're saying he may not be home till 9 p.m. today.
That's why track is the worst.
It is an all-day deal. Now I got to the point where my dad would come and just pick me up. Like, I would text him or whatever, tell him, hey, should be done by this time. Come and get me.
There's so much waiting around. I remember that.
So much waiting around.
Swimming is similar.
Yeah.
A lot of laying around.
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
Yeah. Which the hard part for my son is, like, he ran. So Tuesday night we had a meet. He ran the 800 and was already dying.
Yeah.
And then he ran the mile at the end of the day.
Oh.
And he was just like lap 1, he gave me the most, like, agonizing, please just end this for me. Can you come and just grab me and take me home?
Just tackle me and get me out of here.
Whatever you can do to get me out of here. So
yeah, I threw shot put as well, and we didn't have a coach that was coaching us, and so we just found things that we could break with the shot put for a practice.
Yeah, put it out there and try to hit it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't have a coach for, like, the most dangerous event.
They just handed us these shot puts. They're like, good luck.
Here's this 8-pound lead ball. Luke,
crazy.
you going somewhere this weekend?
I'm going tonight to see Taylor Swift, and then I'm going on to my house for Saturday and Sunday to watch WrestleMania.
It's super tight.
What a weekend, my man.
It's a huge weekend for me. It's going to be awesome.
It's a big weekend. Saturday night, there is an event that Jalen Williams is going to put on where he's going to sign autographs and take pictures with people. You have to buy a ticket for this, and the spots are very limited. You can go check out my Twitter account. There's a link there if you have any interest in that. I'll be there. My kids will be there.
Where is it?
It's at the Loft Hotel downtown.
I'm going to be too busy watching
WrestleMania.
Logan Paul wrestling.
No. So if you want to get his autograph, the thing about J-Dub is like he doesn't sign before games. He'll go work out before the fans can come into the building, and then he will stay in the locker room until the game. So he's actually a tough signature to get if you're into that kind of thing.
It's a rare graph.
It is a rare graph. I hope you guys have a great weekend and enjoy the game tonight. And we'll talk to you guys again on Monday.